Urgent, Commanders fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we bring you daily videos with the latest Commanders news, and don't forget to turn on notifications, so you don't miss anything. Commanders can fix contract problem with trade for Cliff Kingsbury favorite. On the surface, the Washington Commanders are loaded at wide receiver, but the riches are only temporary. Only disappointing 2024 NFL draft pick Luke McCaffrey is under contract beyond this year, but the Commanders can solve the problem by trading for a favorite of offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. He was behind a deal to bring Marquise Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals 3 years ago. Now Brown could move on again, this time from the Kansas City Chiefs, and Pro Football Sports Network's Sterling Zai believes the Commanders are among the wideouts' best trade fits. Z noted that while the Commanders have already made a pair of trades this offseason for Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel, but they don't have a receiver under contract past 2025 beyond Luke McCaffrey. Washington offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury traded for Brown when he was the Cardinals head coach in 2022. It's a strong argument for Kingsbury reuniting with a proven deep threat, even though Brown only rejoined the Chiefs back in March. The 27-year-old is somebody who could replace last season's playoff hero and another vertical target, Dyami Brown. Hollywood Brown trade makes sense for Commanders Chiefs. Familiarity has been a theme of the Commanders' additions at wide receiver. In recent years, both Noah Brown and Michael Gallup were known to head coach Dan Quinn with the Dallas Cowboys, while trade acquisition Deebo Samuel played for the San Francisco 49ers when general manager Adam Peters was in the front office for the NFC West club. Reuniting Brown with Kingsbury would be more of the same from the Commanders. It may seem unlikely given his decision to re-up with the Chiefs, but Z pointed out Brown will still likely be behind Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy in the pecking order, making it no sure bet that his production rebounds in 2025. With Brown playing on a one-year, $5 million deal, that makes him very tradable if the fit doesn't work out better in his second season with the Chiefs. The Commanders snagging Brown would add some more playmaking juice to a depth chart top-heavy with Samuel and perennial 1,000-yard receiver Terry McLaurin, but lacking beyond them. Brown remains a legitimate field stretcher even after a separated shoulder limited him to just 2 games for the Chiefs in 2024. He still averaged 1 yards per catch, continuing a 6-year run of averaging double digits per reception, according to Pro Football Reference. His 12 TD catches on 20-yard targets per PFF KC Chiefs offer ample proof of Brown's core talent. The ability to take the top off coverage, as well as amass yards after the catch, make Brown ideally qualified to replace those skills his namesake took with him in free agency. It also makes the Kingsbury favorite worthy future-proofing against some lingering contract issues. Commanders must plan for tricky WR contract decisions. Those issues include deciding whether to grant Samuel a bumper payday after this year. He's 29 and has absorbed more than his share of punishment in a dual-threat role, so the Commanders have been warned against handing the All-Pro a lucrative extension. Even if Peters is tempted to go against conventional wisdom, he'll need to balance Samuel's future against that of McLaurin. The latter could earn a new deal in the region of $100 million. McLaurin's a team leader and highly productive, but he's also 29 and overworked. The Commanders would be wise to start planning for the future at this key position. Their plans could include selecting a Samuel-like playmaker or two in the 2025 NFL Draft, but Brown would also be a shrewd pickup. He was targeted 107 times on Kingsbury's watch in 22, so Brown would fit seamlessly into Washington's creative offense. Pausing this news, just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Commanders news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks! Now let's get back to the news. Patriots predicted to sneak back into round 1 with Commanders trade. The New England Patriots have some of the most draft capital in the 2025 NFL Draft, and with their selections, they're constantly involved in trade rumors. In a new piece from multiple insiders at ESPN, the Patriots are predicted to trade back into the first round. In a new pre-draft collaboration article, Field Yates of ESPN predicted that the Patriots would make a trade with the Washington Commanders. The Patriots move up from 38th overall in the second round to 29th overall in the first round in the trade idea. New England would give pick 77 for the Commanders' 4th round pick at 128th overall. It would be a massive trade-up for the Patriots, as moving back into the first round would likely net the Patriots one of the top players in the draft. New England would also receive the fifth-year option for any player they draft, which is a significant asset in team building. Yates justified his proposed trade idea by saying the Patriots have been aggressive all off-season, and being assertive in the draft wouldn't be a surprise. He also mentioned that the Patriots could consider the offensive line or the wide receivers in a trade-up. If the Patriots pick an offensive lineman at 4th overall, they could go for a wide receiver in this trade-up idea from Yates, giving Drake May a new weapon and a protector for the next 4 years at minimum. Less than a week away from the 2025 NFL Draft, rumors are constantly swirling around. Hearing this trade idea from someone well-connected in the NFL is something to take note of. The Patriots moving up into the first round makes a lot of sense, and the Commanders would be one of the best teams to do so with. It would also put them ahead of the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, two teams who could be looking at the wide receiver or offensive line positions. This trade prediction from Yates would make a lot of sense for both the Patriots and the Commanders. Mike Vrabel and the Patriots have been aggressive so far, and a draft night trade-up wouldn't be a surprise for the Patriots. Commanders poised. For major change ahead of NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders had one of the best run games in football last season, as Jaden Daniels led the offense to 12 regular season wins off the back of a good run game. Averaging 149 yards per game, the Commanders were a run-heavy football team, and that was with Daniels leading the way with 891 rushing yards, Brian Robinson Jr. 799, and Austin Eckler 367, the main trio that Cliff Kingsbury used. But both Robinson Jr. and Eckler weren't big play threats, and aside from Daniels, the run game wasn't that explosive, which brings us to the draft and the abundance of quality backs set to be available. For ESPN's Matt Miller, getting an explosive back like Ohio State's Trevan Henderson fills a big need for the offense. Trading for left tackle Laramie Tunsil and wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. took care of two big needs, but Washington is still missing a true game changer at running back. Miller writes, Henderson has elite hands to catch passes from Jaden Daniels, and his big playability is something this unit lacks. Running a 43 40-yard dash shows Henderson has the home run threat the Commanders need, plus his ability as a pass protector will see teams lean his way as well. Not the best runner in the class, but Henderson has enough patience to wait for. Holes to develop before hitting the gas, plus once he gets outside, he can pick up big gains on the ground. So Coach Dan Quinn is poised to move off of Brian Robinson Jr. somehow and to make a major change here. So yes, the Commanders' run game was great last season, but adding Henderson will supercharge it while also allowing Daniels to not have to be Kingsbury's main running weapon. Commanders take massive gamble ahead of NFL Draft. The Washington Commanders found themselves a franchise quarterback, and that should keep them in championship contention moving forward for the foreseeable future. Now the goal is for the organization to build around Daniels in a way that will keep them atop the heap for years to come. With the way the Commanders have built their team this offseason, though, that may not actually be the goal. Instead of building a young team around Daniels to grow into a long-term title contender, Washington has gone Allen on the aging veterans through trades and free agent signings instead. In their mind, competing for a Super Bowl immediately is the only thing that matters, not long-term stability. It might just be the big mistake they make in this era, and it shouldn't be surprising with this ownership group. When Josh Harris and his owner team bought the Washington Commanders, he already owned the Philadelphia 76ers and New Jersey Devils. When it came to the 76ers, a team he purchased in 2011, the team was in a rebuilding stage that he expedited immediately. Once the team drafted Joel Embiid, they built a team around him of aging stars in the hope it would be enough to compete for a title. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The mere fact Harris is looking to build the Commanders in a similar way that he did with the 76ers is a massive gamble. It may work out in the short term with plenty of playoff appearances, but it's clear that the method they want to use can also be extremely costly, and it may rip apart all the positive feelings that have come back to the franchise. Commanders coach Dan Quinn poised to target 19-sack star. The Washington Commanders may have finished 12th in the league in sacks last year, but that doesn't mean they don't need to worry about their defensive line in 2025. If anything, with how the Commanders play defense under Dan Quinn, it's extremely important for the franchise to add some depth in the upcoming draft next week. While there are issues in the secondary for the franchise, you can never have too many edge rushers, which is why, in Adam Rank's latest mock draft on NFL, Tennessee's James Pierce Jr. would be the pick for Washington if the young edge rusher gets to them in the later portion of the first round. The offense is looking really good, Commanders, now that you've bolstered the line with Laramie Tunsil and brought in Deebo Samuel to go opposite Terry McLaurin, Rank said. I wouldn't rule out taking a running back or another offensive stud here. However, you need to play some defense. Pierce could help boost the pass rush after the loss of 2024 sack leader Dante Fowler and two-time Pro Bowler Jonathan Allen. Washington has quality defensive linemen and pass rushers like Darren Payne, Dorrance Armstrong, and Frankie Louvu. They need to get a developmental player in the locker room as well, though. Pierce recorded 19 sacks during his 3-year run with the Volunteers. He would enter the huddle of a defense in need of a more consistent pass rush, and that could be something he is able to do right away for the Commanders. And now, Commanders fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Commanders. I'll be back any moment with more Commanders news. We want Dallas.